What's up, y'all? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're from. If you're watching me from China, because we're gonna be in China one day, okay? I think we're in the United Kingdom though, just so the people know, okay? So we are international, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's me, your girl Bree, back for another week of Dear Future Husband. Now, did y'all see this sweater? It says made in the 80s, and so I am telling on myself, but I don't care, okay? Because I look damn good for being made in the 80s, and I just want to, it's my TikTok sweater, okay? I'm just gonna tell all the people, this is my TikTok sweater, so get you one. All right, so welcome to another week, another show. I have an amazing guest. Y'all see him there, sitting there. Sean, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm excited to have you.
Oh, are you?
Look,
Good.
let me tell the people. So, me and Sean know each other from when from San Antonio, right?
Right.
And I think we met was it back when I was in law school or
Yes,
before?
you were in law school, or I think you were finishing. I was working for the University of Phoenix doing marketing and business development, and we met at an event.
Okay.
I
can't remember.
I can't remember one of those places.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I met Sean, and so we've been following each other on, we became social media friends, and just kind of, everybody went on about their lives. And then all of a sudden, Sean, you started popping up with these books about, that's a lie, backtrack. Sean owns 2 gyms, right? At the time he owned 1. He just acquired a second location, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so at the time he owned 1. So that's, I think initially you popped up because of that. Like you came back on the scene and you had this gym, right? And then what really got me interested in, the reason I really wanted you on the show was because you started posting the books that you were reading, and it centered around marriage and about being a husband, right?
Correct.
More importantly, about being your part.
Right.
Okay. And so I had to have you on the show because you are Mr. Dear Future Husband.
I hope so.
That's what the show is called. That's what you are. So I said I have to have Mr. Dear Future Husband on the show. So welcome, Mr. Dear Future Husband.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate
You're welcome. We got to get into what made you decide to start doing these books, because as you know, in our community, number one, we don't do too much of and I hate to say it like this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Yeah,
we don't publicly put out there where we messed up.
Right.
And the fact that we even need to grow in any area of life, right?
Correct.
And so the fact that you decided to take it upon yourself to start delving into these books about how to be a better husband, I thought was dope. Are you going to therapy as well?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
Not right now.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, so you did therapy as well? Because that's taboo with us.
It really is. It is. Once you get sick of yourself, though. Once you start getting sick
of yourself.
Or when you look at you, get a good glimpse of yourself and where you are, how you got there, you definitely gonna need to sit on the couch and talk to somebody.
And get therapized.
Yeah.
I like that though, but I like, because again, that's frowned upon. So the fact that you are, and then you put it on social media like, hey, I'm reading these books about how to be a better husband.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
I just thought that was dope. So we got to get into all that. Okay, so let's run it back. Let's run it back. Are you currently single, dating, married?
I am divorced, single, working on me.
Yeah.
Not dating.
Okay.
Not slipping and sliding.
Okay.
None of that. Stuff.
Okay. So you are just focusing on you at this point.
Right.
You're not even trying to date.
This is year 3 of being single, so
nice. Okay.
It's starting to become time to get out there. But yeah, I see what's out there though. Yeah. It's a cold, cold world.
You see, I have nothing to say, right? You see, I'm trying to gather my thoughts, and it's very, very rare that I'm speechless. But I had just been made aware that there are some women that, number 1, can't read, and number 2, don't have reading comprehension. And I didn't even know this was a thing out here, So not only are the waters murky, but then we can't even read the signs on how to.
Yeah.
And I need people to do better. Okay?
It's hard. And it's not their fault, it's just no one has told them. Well, I guess if you don't know, it's your fault. But at this age, people don't know. They think where they are is cool. You know, because it's worked to get them here, but
so far,
but it's not working.
Or it hasn't worked.
But it's not working.
Yeah, that part, right? We got to determine what working means to you, right? But okay, so you're single, divorced, single, haven't dated in the past 3 years. However, you feel like it might be time. We're nearing near that time.
Yeah, it's time to do something.
Okay. Do you have any kids?
No, I don't. I'm 45, no kids.
Do you want kids?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the name picked out and everything.
Aww.
Hey, you know.
Boy or girl?
Both. Wow. You know, every man wants a junior. So most men want a junior, so of course.
Yeah. What led you to read these books?
Oh man.
How did we get here?
All right. So I guess if guys would slow down and speed up. First thing is once the divorce hit, I took some time out immediately. Immediately, and I started watching podcasts. The first podcast I think I watched was God dog it. There it is, the brain.
That's okay.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. It was really good. It would come to me, and when it comes to me, I'm gonna say what it is. Right?
Okay.
And I have their book too. I think the name of their book was The Audacity of God dog. There it is too. Can't remember.
Okay.
But so I started watching podcasts online and learning. I ran across Jimmy Evans. They have a XO marriage conference that moves around, so I went to one of those.
Nice.
I just started diving in, and then just really looking and examining marriage and what it means, what it takes to have a successful one, and everyone's chasing this thing of happiness when I found that it ain't really about your happiness; it's about your duty, right? Happiness is a byproduct of you doing your duty.
Come on, you better preach these damn people.
Yeah, so so that's kind of the thing that
because they think that they can get the happiness without doing the work.
Yeah,
it's just going to be happy.
I'm gonna be happy
regardless,
and that's it. I want to be happy. I'm leaving you because I'm not happy.
But you didn't do your part too.
It ain't about that. You're right. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's work.
Okay,
it's work. But yeah, so that's where it started. Started watching those podcasts and going to different marriage type of conferences, or just really putting my ear to the street. I'm really stubborn when it comes to things I want to do. So for example, I set a goal to get a gym or to get a building. I put my head down and I'm gonna work my butt off to get it, right? And so in this case, and same thing with bodybuilding, right? Because I was a bodybuilder for a number of years, so I just applied that same hustle, that same grind to marriage, right? To researching marriage,
right?
And examining myself, and learning where you went wrong, where you went right, you know. And believe it or not, a lot of us get a lot of things right.
Okay.
But you know, those one or two things that break the straws that break the camel's back. So yeah, I've learned a lot.
What did you learn in being in that marriage the first time about yourself that put you? Because something happened to put you on this path.
Yeah.
I think, right? That's what it sounds like to me.
Right.
So what would you say that you kind of fell short, or what went wrong in that marriage that you know now not to do in this next one? Because I'm assuming that you want to get married again.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Even if I'm spinning the block, as they say, as the young folks say now.
Don't do that, because we're not that old. So I think we're the same age. We are not that old as the young folks spinning the block. Don't do that.
What's the new term, right?
Yeah. Don't do that.
So dang, man. So I don't. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. It's a few things
that you feel like you could have done better.
Yeah, it's a few things. So I think Jesse Jackson had he had a term. Your family don't need your presence; they need your presence. Right? They need you present. And I think that played a huge role. So owning a business, like this is not like the gym, the first one, it's a smaller gym. We just knocked down some walls like end of last year. So we're expanding like crazy. So running a business it takes you out of the house. Being an entrepreneur takes you out of where you are, your home, your family life. So you don't really have that time to invest. But those people need that. They need you present.
Time.
They need that. And they need you mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
They need you on deck.
Yeah.
And especially when it's your family. And those, I hate to say this, but I don't hate to say it, but they are much more important. Your family is more important than our superficial goals or our goals. And so I'm very goal driven. Very deadline. Like I want to do the things that make me feel good as a man. Most men need to work on something to feel secure or to feel like we're progressing in life. And so starting that first gym really,
that was it for you.
That was
made you
it.
feel like that.
Yeah. So I worked in corporate America, but I have my master's, my MBA, and every 2.5 years I was getting laid off. And so that was hitting me, in the heart. Like, how do I provide? How am I gonna have a kid? And my wife at the time, she was super supportive. But even then, me feeling like I need to take care of my family or cover my family, like how I'm gonna do that if I keep getting laid off? So I was questioning God, questioning where I was supposed to be. And then, I was watching a YouTube video, and it was doing some cardio, getting ready for a bodybuilding show. And I ran across this one that gave me an idea on how to purchase a gym.
Oh, okay.
Right? So so I listened to it like 5 times, and then I got the idea. So I talked to the doctor that owned the gym at the time, and we came up with some numbers, and we came up with a formula that worked for him, and it worked for me. And so I got the gym. And so when I got it, like I was, now it's time to work. And so didn't want that to fail.
Right.
And so, my wife at the time, we're having like major communication issues. So I was shut down. We weren't communicating hardly at all. I was making moves, doing the things that make me feel good. But while, out to the public and to the world, but at home, I was dying. She was dying. Okay. She needed me. Yeah. But I needed, to feel good somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. You needed that validation outside of home, right?
Outside of home,
to make you feel, like you said, like a man. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Because I can't, clearly I can't speak. So, okay, so that's one thing. Was there anything else that you felt like was a big deal breaker for the relationship? From your point, I'm not saying that you're the only one at fault here, right?
Oh, no.
Just from your point of view.
I believe it or not, man. It's crazy when your relationships don't work. It's usually a combination of both of you, right? But for this, I felt like I put everything on myself initially. Okay. Right. I took a lot of blame for things that, some things you don't have control over, right? You tell someone something and their feelings get hurt, you communicate it, right? And it's not necessarily, it's how you communicate too, of course. But if you say something and that thing hurts their feelings, it's kind of hard to continue to communicate if they're going to use that against you. So we had a lot of communication. Okay. And trust. So if you don't trust what I say, then it's difficult, Okay. But for me, I'm always at the gym, so you can drive by the gym, you'll see my car, you'll see me there. So,
that's what you're doing.
Right.
So then, and now one of my questions was going to be, was this gym started while you were in the marriage? But yes, it was started, right? Yeah. And that was a lot of because I don't think people realize that are not entrepreneurs is that those first few years is you steadily grinding, marketing, and hitting the streets and making sure everybody knows about your thing, right? Whatever that thing is, right? It is, so that you can fund what it is that you're doing, right? And like you said, feed your family and be there. And I'm assuming because you're in the marriage and then you got this new gym, you're, like you said, you put your head down and you just go. Right. And I'm assuming, picking up from our conversation, that's exactly what you did.
Right.
Is that correct?
That is exactly what I did. Even so, we're having communication problems even before the gym. I think even with me questioning God, or questioning the Bible, I went through a period of about 7 years of just questioning why things are and why things keep happening to me. So, and it's really it was time for me to leave corporate America is a thing. Like I kept running back, and God had another plan for me.
For you, yeah.
If you want a gym, I mean, in different places you apply for jobs, they're not giving them to you. Right? Let me show you how to beat a job, right? So I needed that push. And so we're having communication issues before the gym. And once the gym hit, I'm the end all be all with the gym. I had one employee, but only have her for a certain number of hours during the day. But anything happened after hours, so I'd get calls at 10 o'clock. Hey, my key isn't working. So I lived about 12 minutes away from the gym. So I go to the gym. So you leave, 12, 15 minutes. Let's just say 15 minutes. 15 minutes you leave. You get there. You unlock their key, reset it. You shoot the breeze, shake hands and kiss babies. Build that relationship, for 15 minutes. And then you drive home. That's 45 minutes away from your mate that's expecting you to be there.
To cuddle up. It's
where you going? What I mean? What you doing? Or if you're getting calls, hey, toilet overflowing. What do? You can't.
You gotta go and.
You gotta go clean it. So it's not, as easy as some people think. It is to run a business. You are the end all be all.
You're everything. You wear all the hats.
Yeah, you do.
And until you get to a point where you can kind of delegate that out, it's just you.
Right.
It's you that if you're not there, it doesn't run. Period.
It doesn't. And so I started learning though. When I got the second gym, I started doing a little bit of research on gym software. So when I switched over to software, I can now have apps. I can do things from home. So if someone's key doesn't work, or if the doors don't open, I'm gonna open the doors for you right now. Give me 2 seconds.
Right.
I don't have to leave. And also developing boundaries. Those first couple of years, it's super hard to get away. So, or step back from the business. I'd work, 10, 12, 11 o'clock at night. Now I'm leaving at 8 o'clock, at the latest. So usually by 8 o'clock, if it's not done, if it's not a huge emergency, I'm leaving. So I have a boundary now. Now I might have to get up at 5, or be somewhere at 5. But at 8 o'clock, I'm
done.
I'm leaving. Yeah.
But those are things that you have to learn, right? And that's things that you have to grow too.
Yeah.
That's not something that normally you come in just.
You just know, okay, I'm gonna change this, change that.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
You gotta figure that out.
You just don't know. It's just like marriage. You don't know.
You don't. That's right.
You figure
you
it
don't.
out.
You kind of just jump in, say I do, and you figure it out as you go.
Yeah, right. There's no cheat sheet.
There really isn't.
No.
There really isn't. But I like the fact that you are using the resources available to you to kind of, I guess, you're pulling from your past experience. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah,
so don't let me put no words in your mouth. Like,
one
would assume that you're using your past experience plus you're using whatever resources available to you, like the books.
Yes. Yeah.
To then, when you find her again, the next one, right?
Right.
That you can be better.
Yes, because that's the thing. We don't know that we need to be better. We don't know. We think just because we're here that this is the way to go, or you're raised a certain way, or you saw a certain thing that's right for your marriage or your situation, or for your person, and that's generally how we go wrong. You're raised a certain way, and I saw my mom. I love my mom to death. Right, that is my homie. We ride or die. But and I ain't I think she wouldn't care. But what I saw from her marriages is when things got hard, she just left. She come get me. And what I do, go load up the U-Haul, I'll be right there and go get her. Or with my dad was married for a very long time, but he was very angry.
Okay.
He's still married to this day, but we're starting to develop a relationship. But from what I saw of him, just very angry. Okay. So when you get these things, and that these things are literally poured into you. Yeah.
That's what you saw. That's what you grew up with.
Right, and so you think that this is math. This works. But it doesn't.
That's not how it works. And I don't know if it was on or off camera, because we've had very good conversations off camera right before we got on the show. But you didn't grow up with being told I love you.
No, not at all. So neither of my parents They don't say, this happened recently. One time I told my dad, just to, freak him out, I said, I love you. He said, thank you. Because he don't know.
Yeah. That's not something that...
It's foreign to him. You know what I mean? Like,
even in his marriage, I'm assuming that he doesn't...
Right. So, exactly. At least that's what we saw growing up. My mom loved her to death, but we don't say that, you know.
You just knew.
You just, I don't want to say you assume, it's just you just be. It's just it. Like you don't really know. But that generation of people, their parents, when I talk to my dad or my mom, I talk about, I listen to them, and their parents weren't equipped with that either.
Yeah.
And so if your mate, needs that, you need to be in a position to identify it and identify that they need it and also provide it in a way that they can receive it. Right?
So you more equipped, would you say, to say... first, let me back up. Did you say it in your previous marriage?
Sometimes, yes. Yeah,
okay.
Sometimes.
Not often? Not
often.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like she needed that or she wanted that?
Yes, she needed that. She's a single child, both parents.
Okay.
And me and her dad, I feel like we grew up very similar, right?
Okay.
So he's military. I'm not military. My dad's not military either. But just our upbringing, our families are very similar. And so I feel like we got along really well. Same thing with her mom. Loved her mom to death. But her family gave her that. They, hey, you
that
can do
affection,
it.
that
like that we all need, as a people. But we didn't get that, and so she needed that, and I couldn't identify that she needed it, and also how to give it. How will she receive this? Of course, I done read the 5 love languages.
What's your love language?
Man, it depends. I'm right. I'm situational. Mainly, I felt like I need car parts. No, I'd say acts of service.
Okay.
Is
the top one?
Yeah. Yeah, acts of service. Touch, not really, but I like it too. You know what I mean? But definitely acts of service.
Okay.
If you don't have to do nothing, bring me some lunch. I'm gonna work.
That goes a long way.
Yeah, I'm gonna work these 12 hours. I'm gonna hustle for us. Do something. Send me a text. So yeah, something.
Something.
Yeah, just do something.
Okay. So you now that you're on the other side of this, you realize that you could have said I love you a little bit more.
I could have done a lot more, but again, you're just there.
Right.
Not
and you don't know.
You don't. You're just flying blind. You just think this is what it's supposed to be.
And I'm here so she knows that I love her. Is that
right.
Do you feel like a lot of men feel like that?
Right. Well, I paid the bills. I paid the mortgage.
So how can she not know I love her?
How she not know? Or she sees me working all these hours. Like, what do you mean?
And I come home to you.
Yes, I come home. So it's...
So I love you, girl.
Right.
What is she talking about?
Right. Yeah, give me some proof, something. But, just like that, like if someone doesn't feel love, tell me why. Tell me more about that. Don't just shut down. And which is, that's my go-to dance. Was shutting down. I'm going to say was, right? Let's speak that.
Okay. Yes. Into existence. Yes.
Because I can remember, and it's not always all or nothing with me. But I can remember one time I had to come from one of her friends, right? Because I paid the bills, like
all of them.
Not all of them, but
okay.
I paid the mortgage. I paid,
the big boys,
right? You know what I mean? I have food. We got food. We got mortgage, and we got food.
What else do you need?
Even when I'm laid off, even when I was laid off in between jobs, I got the mortgage. We got food. You ain't got, you ain't worrying about that.
Yeah.
But I remember one time one had to come from one of her friends and said I was using her, right? But for me, what I did was just took all your ammunition, right? Which is, one, it's wrong. I just stopped taking anything from you, right? So if I'm using you, let me show you that I'm not, right? So I won't, what do you want it? Nope. Right? So you can't say I'm using you.
But did she say it or did her friend say it?
She said it. She said it to me.
Like she agreed with it.
She said it to me, yes. Not that you using me or something to those extents. So I just stopped taking things. Right? I'm gonna take all of your ammo. But I never want now, like with the mind I have now, Tell me about that. Tell me why you think
Why?
that. You know what I mean? Like dive
Let's
in.
talk it. Let's talk it out.
Let's talk it out. You know what I mean? Like what am I doing or not doing? Right.
Mhm.
So now now I know better. You know, if someone has a problem, tell me about it. Let's really talk about it.
It sounds like you communicate better. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily that you know. I mean, you may know better, but I think now, from what you're telling me, is now before you would shut down.
Yeah.
And you would just be like, I'm gonna show you, right?
Yeah.
And now you actually want to communicate about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Let's
So
try.
where is this coming from? Why you feel like this?
Yeah.
And let me show you the, like I
The
do
receipts.
this.
Let
There
me
you
show
go.
the receipts.
So now, do you still feel like this?
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like that.
Mhm.
So I can appreciate that. I'm a big communicator. And I find that a lot of the men that I deal with do shut down.
Right.
And have dealt with do shut down, and they are not good communicators by far. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, at all.
Well, your communication level is on a different plane because you're an attorney, a lawyer, right? So you're able to break things down, whereas we only use so many words as it is.
Yeah, on a day-to-day basis, right.
Hungry, sleep, water, like that that's it. That's all we got. So we don't use that many words. So your ability to communicate, give and receive information is on a different level, right? Than a lot of people, not just men, even women. But and then so I read this in a book, one of the book called Attached.
Attached.
It talked about attachment styles, right? And so if a lot of people who go through traumatic childhoods or upbringings where families don't show emotions, they become dismissive, avoidant, right? And so they begin to self-soothe and soothe themselves, and
because they didn't have nobody else to soothe them,
right? And so you're talking about trying to love someone who's
dismissive, avoidant,
who can't receive it, who has a problem receiving it. We don't believe it anyway, right? We don't believe this exists. So imagine that, so and shutting down or stonewalling, as they call it. Yeah, so
that's rough.
It is.
That's rough dating somebody. I've dated somebody like that. It is rough as hell.
It is. And so for me, when things don't go right, I know one thing that I can do to make things always go right? Work. Right? So when things in my professional life don't go right, I know, okay, I can just go clock in. I can work harder. I can do these things. I can control this, right? But I did not take that didn't know that you could take that same will, that same energy, and put that into your marriage, into your relationship, into your person, and really grow with them, and grow them and grow with them.
I like that. I like that. And I think that because I have heard about that attachment style that you said.
Yeah.
But when we think about traumatic, to me, traumatic is like abuse, right?
Right.
But you're saying even somebody that will fall into that traumatic is just somebody that wasn't given affection or wasn't paid attention to.
Right.
Right? Can be traumatic, right?
Exactly.
And that falls into that.
Yep. But we were, like, my brother and I, we were abused. My dad did beat us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like, hey, let me whoop you with this switch. It's me, like, beat you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, a lot of people, or some people, what they'll do is they'll follow in those same footsteps, right? But for me, I'm hyper opposite. So I just shut down. Like, you can't. Like, I won't hit you. I don't act out.
Yeah.
No, I just withdraw.
So you what is it? Stonewall. You stonewall.
Yeah.
You are the dismissive.
Yes.
Or you were the dismissive avoidant.
Yes. Right.
Were right.
Yeah. Right.
We're gonna speak to.
That's right.
You see how quickly I learned?
That's right. It takes work.
But that's what you exhibited in that previous relationship.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And so then trying to get through to you at this point, once you've got this stonewall.
Yeah.
Because you're saying you self-soothe.
Yeah.
So, meaning that because you were made to self-soothe back then in your traumatic experience, right?
Right.
You've learned that you look within to yourself.
Yep.
Nobody else can provide you with any type of soothing.
Well, I can't depend on it, right? I don't trust it. I know it sounds weird, but it's true. You know what I mean? But you don't trust it. You don't depend on it, and so I get my self gratification from working.
That's how you soothe yourself.
That's how I soothe myself. So I'll just go work and really be good at something.
Okay.
and be missing, the not necessarily emotional component, but just missing out on what my partner may need.
Because you're soothing yourself.
Yeah.
And stonewalling, and you don't want to hear it, and you don't trust it.
I'm cool. Yeah. Yep.
So go.
I love you, but I'm over.
Go. Yeah, I'm finna go work.
Yeah.
And then the other person is made to feel like you're ignoring them, or you don't care, or you don't love them.
Exactly.
Because of that.
Because right. Because if they can't love you their way, you know what I mean. If they can't get to you or love you because you've made yourself an island. It's tough for people. It's tough. And so for people like me, or for people like how I was,
that's right.
Speak it. We have to be intentional.
You find that you still have to be intentional even now.
Right. You have to be intentional now. So I know that now, right? So even if it feels unnatural, send a text to your wife or send a text to your mate in a text on your calendar, right? Or set an alarm in your phone to do it. Even if it feels unnatural or faked or rehearsed, your partner still needs it. And it doesn't matter as long as you do it, right? Do it. So, and then I can't remember where I heard that from, but you have to do it until it feels natural.
What is it? What kind of message are we talking about? What would feel unnatural?
Just random text messaging.
Oh,
just random
feel unnatural.
Just random communicating, right?
Really?
Right. So even if it feels unnatural to do often, because you have those check-ins with your boo throughout the day. Those random miss you texts or memes or reels.
Doing? Yeah.
You can just send that funny things like that. And for some people, they need that, right? And so
I'm one of those people that I need that.
Yeah, you have to know that constant, and it's not necessarily constant, but just random. Random
because it makes me feel like you're thinking about it.
Like we got this we have this internal joke or joke that we share between us, and I send you something that reminds you of that joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like upset joke. So yeah.
So even now, it feels unnatural. It would feel like because you haven't dated. So if you were to get back out there,
right,
that randomness would still feel unnatural.
That randomness has to be built in, and so I know that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I know, okay, we have to schedule date night. You know what I mean? We have to schedule our, a trip. Once a month.
Because you're not random. Is that what it is?
Right. So
you're very
matter of fact.
Clockwork.
Yeah.
You're not. You don't just wake up one morning and say, I don't want to work today. Let's go drive down to Austin.
Not right. No, not right now. No, I have to. No.
Okay.
No, sleeping in sometimes is where it's at, but most times no, because of business, because of how business flows.
Okay.
Both gyms are 24 hours, so we don't. I don't really get to clock out. So just like randomly, but if it's planned and we plan it, we can do it.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sorry for keep looking at my watch. There's something going on with my daughter. She's at Grandpa's house. She's talking about something. She want to come home. I don't know what's going on.
Kids.
So sorry about that. I'm listening to you. Okay. Okay. Back on track. I'm sorry. So this is single motherhood and trying to do several different things that, you know what I'm saying? Like this
is life.
This is life. Life be life.
It's a good thing.
So would you say, and I gotta read that book Attachment, because now I'm curious as to what I've heard about the different attachment styles, but I don't. What do you remember what they are? There's a dismissive avoidant.
It's a anxious attachment style, and then there's basically a normal person. Right.
How many people fall into that?
Normal,
whatever that is. Right. Okay. I think now that you said that, I may or may not be the anxious attachment style, but I don't know that I know too much about it to really definitively say this is what it is. So
there's a ton of videos on YouTube too. Okay. So because I looked up a bunch of them, like, hey, hold on, they talking about me over here. So it's a few of them. They'll give you a quick breakdown.
I need to look into that. Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say, like, what is your type of woman? Like, what are you attracted to? I'm going to ask. Don't.
Man, like what?
So
am
what?
I attracted to?
Yes, what are you attracted to?
Like, all right, crazy. So I want a good person,
Okay.
right? So that being a good person is a great slate to start with.
Okay.
Right. So someone that loves people, someone that doesn't mind volunteering, that doesn't mind giving someone a shirt off their back, or feeding the homeless. Like that, is what I like, right?
Okay.
But as far as people always talk about looks. That's the first thing most people talk about. But just I want a fun woman that not too afraid to laugh and be silly, like that means a lot, like those small things.
Because that's genuine, right?
Right.
That's genuine. You're not putting on for somebody 24/7, and you have to like
someone's
be different. Somebody different.
Uptight.
Yeah.
No,
that's not you.
Not at all.
Okay.
Just be ridiculous.
Be ridiculous.
Yeah, be funny. Let's laugh. Let's because the storm's gonna come, so let's laugh today.
Baby. They're gonna come.
Yeah,
they're gonna come. And I find myself having to explain to people like, listen, y'all think like this whole we're gonna hold hands and kumbaya, the entire relationship is a thing. That's not a thing. Things are gonna happen. We're adults. Like we are whole adults at this point. Things happen, and sometimes they come back to back, and sometimes you get spared, and there's some space in between, right? But things are gonna happen. It's not gonna be kumbaya all the time, but it's about how we get through those difficult times that I feel, you know what I'm saying, makes us or breaks us, right? Right. And it's about making sure that, I've heard it, and I've had a past guest say it, but I've heard about dating somebody long enough to see them through all the seasons. And the seasons are, because people are like, well, what seasons, right? So the seasons are like seeing them how they handle death, how they handle money, financial issues, like you don't have it, right? How do you handle that? How do you act? How you handle just like different types of scenarios, right? So that you can be like, okay, yes, I can deal with this, or no, I can't, because then that happy-go-lucky person may not be happy-go-lucky during that financial, turbulence, right? Right. And then how long does that financial turbulence last? And then now you got, cranky Susie on your hands, and nobody wants cranky Susie, right?
I think that really goes to having hard conversations early, right? So you have to talk about money. My wife and I, we didn't.
Okay.
Right? We never we put 2 lives together, and we didn't talk about savings. We didn't talk about anything.
Okay.
But that's the hand. That's what my family gave me, right? They didn't manage finances well, and so for me, I didn't manage finances well, but I didn't really save. Right? As soon as I got divorced, I already had a plan. Buy one gym. As soon as I opened the second gym, that's exactly about the time she left. Okay. But I already knew I wasn't going to open a third gym until I paid the house off. So that's what I did. So I saved money. Okay. And then went to the bank with my little shoebox. Okay. I was like, hey, I don't want another mortgage.
That's it. Yeah. I'm done. So wait, how many gyms do you have?
2 right now.
Okay. Yeah. And you're going to be working on the third?
We'll see. It depends. Okay. Yeah. We got a few corners to turn, but. Yeah.
Okay. No, I think this conversation is needed. I think, again, I tip my hat off to you, because there's not that many men who will admit that they need work.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that many people. Let me just put that. Yeah, first of all, it's not that many people. And then what I'm finding, especially out here in these dating waters, is that there's not a lot of men who, how many times I have to ask somebody that I'm dating, you ever thought about therapy? Because it's like you are deflecting. Like you are not deflecting, but you're putting all your past trauma on me. You know what I'm saying? And you're treating me a certain way based upon your past trauma. Right. I don't think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. I don't want you to shut down. I don't want you to not talk to me anymore. Because you're upset, or not come around anymore because you're upset. Right. I don't want that. So have you ever thought about therapy? Because number one, you treated me as your past, right? And then number 2, you can't see me. You can't really see me in the state that you're in right now. And so if you can't see me, you can't treat me the way I feel I should be treated. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. But I think it also goes to creating a safe space for your man and be less critical. You know, was it John Gottman or it's one of those institutes? Like it's a bunch of books. They got a ton of books that are all really good. But I think he was saying that women have to be less critical of men.
Okay.
You know, so if the man shares something with you, don't bash him over the head for sharing because he shared his truth with you.
Right.
You know, and if you do, you're only going to get a couple of times to do that, and before
he checks out,
he's not sharing with you.
Right.
Know?
And then but what I'm saying, are you saying because I said have you gone to therapy?
Right.
I'm saying have you gone to therapy because of the way they're treating me.
Right.
And so I can already see. Not because of what they share with me in their past, right? But because I can see based upon how you're treating me, and like how you told me, well, I don't do this with women, and I don't do that with women, and you're not gonna get this. And like they're what's their word when people are putting their stuff on you? What is that? What is that word, James? Deflecting. I said deflect. Projecting. Thank you, Raymond from around the corner. Projecting. So that's what and then I'm like, well, where is this coming from? Right? And so then we get into the conversation of, where it may be coming, and they share a little couple, but therapy is therapy. Like you need, you know what I'm saying? Because of what you went through. And then again, how are you able to have a healthy relationship if you can't get past whatever it is that's in your head that you need to get past? So not necessarily that I am being critical, but it's one of those things where like for real though, like have you thought about going to therapy? Like it might be some things you need to work out, because I'm not deserving of this.
You won't get
this,
no,
but I'm not deserving. Like what's happening? How have I upset you? Why? So but I agree with you. Like I don't, I know you shouldn't be overly harsh on anybody, especially your man, right? And you shouldn't be critical of them, and you damn sure should not throw whatever it is that that they've shared with you in their face. Like nobody wants that, right? Have I been guilty of all three of those things? Yes.
Right.
I don't think at the same time, however, I have been guilty of those things, right? And so this is as I get wiser and I get older and I have more patience and then I'm able to refrain from doing those things because I understand that hurts, right? And especially if you've had it done to you, you know how much it hurts,
it does,
right?
Yeah.
However, I think therapy is an amazing thing.
It really is, yeah.
For everybody, men, women, on all types of levels, right?
Yeah, I definitely feel like if you want to get married, you need at least 6 months of therapy by yourself,
individual,
and then another 6 months of premarital therapy with your mate. Because premarital class
did you go through it?
Yeah, but it wasn't enough.
Really?
No, it was not enough. I think we had to go to 3 sessions, 4 sessions.
Oh, that was it?
That was it. Like, you need a college course. You need to go through 6 months of some type of therapy of putting your life together.
Couples counseling.
Yeah. So
I like
know
that.
where you're going. If you even want to go there with that person.
Route. I like what you... Okay, so let's put that, because that's an action plan. And I don't think that I've ever heard it that way. Yeah. And then when you said it kind of light bulb. So absolutely, I agree. Some time individually, some individual counseling by yourself. Then you decide that, hey, I think I want to do this with this person, and then we do couples counseling. And so maybe not premarital counseling. If premarital counseling is only going to be 3-4, I'm not saying only that, but we do couples counseling, and then you do the premarital counseling, and then maybe you be okay.
You might be all right,
Hopefully, still not a sure thing, but you might be okay.
Still a 50 chance.
But at least you'll have more, because I thought premarital counseling, as somebody who has never been through it.
Right.
So I've always been a fan of premarital counseling.
Right.
But I have never been through it myself because I've never been married. So I thought it was more in depth.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. It was not. They give you like little homework assignments that we had, but it wasn't.
Do you talk about finances?
No, maybe
other
20,000 feet. Maybe macro. I mean, he didn't really get down in the weeds where people, hey, what does your bank account looks like? Or how are you guys Like, ask an individual person, ask them a question. How are you two gonna put your finances together?
Mm-hmm.
How much debt do you have?
Mm-hmm. That's a real one right there.
Right. Like, what are you doing to get rid of the debt? Like,
right.
what's your plan? I can't remember what a guy just said recently. As you can tell, I listen to a lot of stuff all the time. So he was talking about they made a family plan, so each year they plan, like he and his wife, they have a plan for that year.
Okay.
Like, have you made a plan?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to be intentional.
What does that look like?
Where are we going? Like, if we're expected to lead this ship, right, lead our families, we have to sometimes slow down, put some things in paper, not just live, like not just be a weed in the wind. Let's put down some concrete things and some ways to get there.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I've learned so much. Like, of course, anytime you go through divorce, it hurts. Like it's terrible. It's worse than death. Worse than losing somebody, right? But for me, it provided me a great opportunity to really step back and learn. Like, I spent so many hours in the gym working on my outer appearance, right? But not enough time working on your emotional side, your spiritual side, those things that are just, if not more important than the physical,
Okay.
So you have to put that same energy, that same time into the rest of you.
The rest of you.
Yeah.
I love that, and you are being very intentional about how you're moving forward and what you're gonna do, so that at least I'm assuming the next one that comes, right, you'll be on a better footing. Right.
I'll definitely be a much wiser husband, in the future.
And you do want to get married again, right?
Yeah. Because right now it's just me and my dog and my mom. But I want a wife. Somebody to chill with, someone to grow with, someone to build with.
That has your back.
Yeah, more than that, someone that ain't gonna throw in the towel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, when things get rough.
Yeah, right. Because everyone ain't built for that fight. Marriage is tough. Like, marriage is tough. But, there's so many people who do it, and they manage to make it, right?
Yeah.
But I think also a lot of people see everyone's highlights, right? They just, how many pictures?
The good stuff, yeah.
Let me get this picture. We're traveling, but we're in an argument, but let me get it. We put this fake smile on for 5 seconds, and that's what people see, and then they compare where they are to that, right? And what they say, comparison is a thief of joy.
Yes.
Right? So you start comparing yourself to other people, you don't know their struggle. You don't know how they got there.
Yes.
Yep, you don't know it. And so we can't, we have to limit that. Like, let's celebrate that. Yeah, that's a great moment, but let's do what we need to do to in this house.
Yeah.
To make this moment great,
I love it. I love that. Okay. So now that we're here, now that you're wiser,
yep.
What's in store for you? Like, what's the next step?
Right.
Are you gonna get out here?
That's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to go outside. Friend of mine, Joy, she one of my old clients, and she moved, but she keeps telling me to go outside.
That's it.
Get outside.
Just go outside.
Get outside, right? But and of course we laugh back and tease back and forth. But it's terrible out there. Like I see, some of the things, and I hear some of the things people go through, and like a lot of stuff you don't really want to be a part of, be privy to. So it's gonna be tough. But in a minute, I have to get back outside though. I have to get back out there.
So what you gonna do?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna figure it out. Some way. I'm at church. I stay working at church and I stay at the house. But I go to the movie theater down the street every now and again. I go dip in there and sit down and watch something. But I'm gonna have to get out. Yeah.
More than that.
Yeah. Definitely more than that. Go to different functions.
Show your face a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, good luck to you,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Okay. Couple things before we wrap up. Any book recommendations?
Oh, all of them. So it's so many of them.
Give me your top 3.
Okay, Marriage Ain't for Punks.
Okay.
I liked We Over Me.
Okay.
That was a pretty good one. And then anything from John Gottman.
John Gottman.
John Gottman. They have an institute, and they have a lot of books. So
Okay.
anything, like I think one of their books is 7 Principles to a Successful Marriage. Like they have so many books, and I have a lot of them. So
I'm sure you do.
yeah,
Okay.
I got quite a few books. But yeah, anything from John Gottman is pretty good. And then Jimmy Evans, they're pretty good too. So if you can get to any of their marriage exo conferences, that'll be good. It's because you'll get to see different types of marriages, and you'll hear their stories. You know, you're like, hey, my marriage wasn't so bad. You know?
That part,
right?
Yeah, that part.
It ain't so bad. I think we should stay together.
Well, yeah, we should just went to a couple counseling sessions. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
But yeah, any of those books, you cannot go wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and then how can my followers support you? Like, what? Give us the name of your gyms. Anything that you're doing.
Man. Texas Muscle and Fitness. We have 2 locations in San Antonio. If you're passing through San Antonio, you're in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Come by. We got space for you. We got equipment. We got it all. So yeah, Texas Muscle and Fitness. There it is. You can find me there.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, and do you have a Facebook or Instagram
Yeah, Facebook,
page?
Sean Phillips, and Instagram is Big Texas IFBB Pro. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So y'all make sure y'all go ahead and support this young brother here on my show.
Come get it.
Yes, go work out, take a couple classes. You got classes?
Yeah, we got some classes, and I got books too. So all of everybody I train, they know I'll be on them about marriage.
Okay.
So
Okay.
about doing right. So yeah, you need some help doing right in the gym, in your life. Come
see him,
come
okay?
see
and follow him on his social media.
I got you.
And y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. Sean, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you.
I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And y'all, I will see y'all later. Okay?
See you later.